City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They come in riding high, just one loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Bears, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
It's been a tradition since the early days of the NFL, and we're off on Thanksgiving Day in Detroit. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And leading them out there, their 6'5" quarterback.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
Smith, his first carry. Even with the nice move, can't go very far. Stops short of the 30. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Trubisky. There's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Out of the gun, Trubisky. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target. 3rd down here.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it's going to be tipped up and picked off.
Now Trubisky on 3rd and long. He finds his target, Fuller. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I don't care who you put on him, he's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Will Fuller with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Bears have taken the early lead. An out route there for the score, a quick out route there for the score.
Yeah, you're not really surveying the defense on this one. You're just counting on timing, making this play happen. 1-2, ball's out of his hands. He knows where he's going, just puts it to the outside. Touchdown.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a two-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now let's go. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw, and this is going to be incomplete. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. This is intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers steel curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
Now, I know I've said this before, but you know I wasn't alive when the steel curtain was played. I know them, but I just want to let you know I wasn't alive.
I'm going to keep peppering that in there, and one of these days you're going to think that you were.
A very solid gain of 27. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play call, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy's disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a 2nd guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays.
We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
One thing you're looking for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Yeah, I figured that's why you was taking lunch out of work.
And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out.
Right. Yeah, your other card came though, so I can throw that in there.
And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. A great play there with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Bears will add on to their lead. Point after, right down the middle. First quarter touchdown run. Remember, this coming on the heels of his NFC Offensive Player of the Week performance that was so great last week.
Did you feel the rumble all the way up here?
The big bodies up front.
Big bodies moving people, and him, of course, charging through those great holes that were created.
So off to a great start here. Maybe looking for award number 2, adding to the award that he won last week in the NFC.
I could have actually.
Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. And he'll look to rebound from the early interception that led to 6 points the other way.
And when he threw the interception and he had to come to the sideline, I guarantee his first thought wasn't about the interception itself.
How to use the website, how to drive.
And I know he was thinking to himself, come on, defense, bail me out.
How to use the website and how to drive. So actually, it's good information. They said basically, that using the website to job search is better than all the other
games in your career. Do you believe in momentum?
And then there's these other classes to help you get a better resume. So
how about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one
just
right here.
Just to help with resume and interview questions and stuff like that.
They'll drop to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. He got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught...
And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter.
Interview class, a resume
and he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
So now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40. They're facing a tough spot, 3rd and 8 here to start things out. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. This offense converted once on 4th down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. And quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That's a 4th down pickup of 10 yards and an opportunity certainly missed on the defensive side.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart, even for a talented. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A great effort there with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And the Bears will extend their lead. Extra point splits the uprights. You know, the man on our cover, John Madden, so synonymous with these Thanksgiving Day games. He was on TV for these from, I think, 81 to 01, giving out the Turkey Leg Award and turducken he always talked about. Special when you got a guy going off like this. I think he would be a good recipient of the Turkey Leg Award.
Well, he's definitely already worked on that leg. Is it possible he could end up getting the whole turkey?
Yeah, give him a thigh,
or the
too.
whole turducken. And it's really great that you mentioned Coach Madden, because everyone knows him from this. Everyone knows him from the broadcast booth. Remember, he won a Super Bowl as a head coach in Oakland.
Yep, he did indeed. But right now, we are watching maybe one of those turkeys.
Here we go. 3-19.
They'll start on the ground. It's Ito Smith. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in the mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up the first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now, we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up.
Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Well, that's 2 sacks in this game, so add that to the 4 from last week. I think that's 6.
Good math. Excellent math. And look, he's going to get all the attention. He deserves it. He got home and got the quarterback on the ground. But that's a concentrated team effort, because you have a lot of guys who occupy blockers to allow him access to rush the passer.
Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. They'll start things on first with Torrey Cohen, and he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up second and 5.
And that run, that changes the whole mentality about the drive right there. They were starting on their own 2-yard line. They just wanted enough space to pump the football successfully. Now they're talking about putting together a drive.
And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 20. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
So the previous play, a big help, as now they'll have it 1st and 10 up at the 20. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. A gain of 3, second down.
A good solid game there on first down, but the defense has to be happy they didn't let it pop for anything bigger.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Look at the spin.
Balance.
Accelerating, and off he goes. Touchdown, Chicago. A big play there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Bears will add on to their lead. Point after try forthcoming. Extra point right down the middle. And a route is on here in this first half. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you pick that.
And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. He's looking for another 4-sack game. That's how many he had last week. That's his third.
And when I watch him rush the passer, the thing that always comes to mind for me is how well he uses his hands. The martial arts stuff that a lot of guys do in the offseason to work on those, paying dividends for him. He's getting home in a big way.
On third down, Smith. And he'll lose yardage on this one, back to the 13. And now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Here's Jordan Berry now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Bears take over. Now a look at Will Fuller as he and the rest of the offense gears up to get ready to go again. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road.
He's got daylight. Touchdown, Chicago. A great play there. On his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Bears add on. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. But he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Gets fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. He's struggled. His team has struggled. You talk to me a lot about looking to your leaders. Maybe it's time for him to put his mark on this game.
Agreed. And how that has to happen is somehow he's got to flush out everything that's happened so far and almost start over and get back to that confident level and know that he can play the game, because so far this has been a real struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the interceptions, trying to turn it around. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Let's go.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Here we go now.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And the pressure gets to him again. the Bears going to signal for another timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. They'll set up to throw, and he's going to go down again. Now here's a whistle and a timeout. It's called by the receiving team here as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Here's Jordan Berry now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And it's fielded at the 34. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Bears offense led by Mitch Trubisky heading back out there. I'm sure he wanted to have a huge game, wants to have a huge game as the quarterback, but really on the ground, they've been very, very hard to stop. Maybe you just keep going to that well.
I think so, and isn't it funny how the definition of balance changes for us from game to game? Sometimes it's 50-50, run it, throw it. Sometimes it's just being a balanced running team in terms of who's carrying the football.
Not more than one guy.
Right, multiple guys out there. And not.
All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. So we're at halftime here in the annual Thanksgiving game in Detroit. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. 25 yards, the pickup there, and also a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. Eddie Jackson with a tackle.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. As he's got this down inside the 40 to the 39. It'll go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation.
They've definitely established a rhythm on this drive, moving the ball quite well. And big man with football is an integral part of the whole thing.
Hey, you got three down.
Whoosh. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. This time, Trubisky will throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Taylor. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Will Fuller, his second touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Bears continue to pour it on.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors. But that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. On second down, here's Smith. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Khalil Mack's starting to get a really big-time reputation as a pass rusher, and rightly so. So explosive off the edge, getting to the quarterback. But he doesn't neglect his run duties as well. How about that tackle right there? Such a package he has, able to play the run and the pass so well.
He'll look to throw. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big. And now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And this offense led by Mitchell Trubisky going to make their way back out there. He's been a good game manager. They're winning here in the third quarter, but really the ground game is where it's been at for them, hasn't it?
So whatever the game plan was, you just got to focus on continuing to run the football. And really that takes the pressure off of the guy throwing it around. Doesn't have to be the focal point. Hand it off. Let him chew up the yardage in big plays. And your team's winning. The only people upset, the fantasy guys who may have started him at quarterback in their leagues.
And we'll see if they continue with a recipe of the ground game.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one. Maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13.
But it was stopped on that play. We've had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to them the rest of the game.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Look at this spin.
Balance.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 33 and a first.
So that's what that elbow in my ribs was all about. You thought they were going to throw the ball as well.
Absolutely. I think everybody thought they were throwing the football, caught them off guard.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you have the courage to make that type of a play call, a lot of times you actually get rewarded.
The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Now this time he'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Fuller. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A really nice gain of 25 yards. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him? Double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Looking to throw. Trubisky on 1st down. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. From the shotgun is Trubisky. And he's got it. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now for Mitchell Trubisky. And the Bears add on.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. That drive goes 80 yards in 6 plays. And the end result is a Bears touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out now come the Lions. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down.
Back now at Ford Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair.
Green, 39.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. Always got some breathing room. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And they gave up the pick 6, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
Green, 39.
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful, because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll make it 3rd down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up. Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line. And let's shift our attention to Will Fuller. This defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him, bring him over to our team so we don't have to cover him anymore? Because he is really having a heck of a ball game, isn't he?
Boy, he is. I don't know that mid-game trade's going to happen, but good thought. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bifema Bagley, used to say, Don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. The Bears on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This time it's 3rd and 3. From the gun, it's Trubisky. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You just go ahead and play.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th. This offense 2 for 2 converting on these thus far, so why not try again here on 4th down? They'll go for it. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And now here's another interception. Adrian Amos with a pick, and his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down. His big game continues. Already has the 3 touchdown grabs, tacking on some more yardage and a first down.
And how precise has his route running been in this game? We just saw him get open yet again, and he's also made adjustments as the defense has tried to really stop him.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
So 2nd and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Now Trubisky over the middle. That's caught by Taylor. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Looky here, Trubisky wants to throw it. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. And with inside of 10 seconds, 8 to be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field. Let's see what they draw up here. 3rd and long following the sack of Trubisky. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that. But there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with this one. I struggle. But on the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And my goodness, another interception. T.J. Green with a pick. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line.